back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is the Super Chaffee. It's a Tier 6 Premium American Light Tank. It's located on the south spawn of Prokhorovka, and it's under the command of Picklefish44. Game on! 3 marks of excellence on the barrel. He's been playing this one for some time, and in fact we've actually seen this tank in action on other videos. Now, it's armed with a 76mm gun capable of 115 alpha and 120mm of pen with standard rounds, and with the APCR goes through 155, and it's got some HE rounds as well. We'll do 185 alpha with 38mm of pen. He's landed in a tier 6 battle, which means he's top tier. In fact, actually, there are no tanks of lower tier in this game, so it's a totally tier 6 game. And he has had quite a few ace tankers in this tank already, and he's decided he's going to go right through the bush and move up on the enemy, get close to them, and hopefully he'll spot them without them realising where he is. Trying to pick his spot at the moment. Now, the Super Chaffee never actually existed. It was a figment of people's imagination, mainly down to the fact that they were testing various variations before they actually got and settled on the M41, the Walker Bulldog. So this is a fictional tank that Wargame created to put into the game, because there was a Super Chaffee that was upgraded, but it wasn't a production upgrade. They didn't actually do it in serial, and they only tested out various parts, and in the end they decided the M41 was much better. Well, Picklefish decided that OI makes a very tempting target. He has been spotted now, so now he's in danger. And yep, when you're in danger, run away! Run away! Run away! Yep, quick move straight over the edge of the cliff, and you can run away from that spot, but only if you can actually control your drop as you go down the side. Otherwise you might take some damage. But he's managed to get away with that without any damage at all, and he's moving back into position. Now, the Americans did actually make quite a few Chaffee tanks, and in fact loads of them are still in operation, not actually with any army though. Most of them have actually been put into storage if they were bought by any country outside the United States. And many Americans have actually bought Chafees for their own private use, and the reason for that is it's quite a good little tank. It's actually got 2 V8 engines in it. It's basically a little Cadillac, you might say. It's a decent size. It doesn't go particularly fast, but it is very capable, and loads of Americans have bought them because, after all, you can say you've got a tank not quite as expensive to repair and maintain as an M4, and people still like the Chaffee because it's relatively small. Yes, an M4 is actually quite big and quite heavy. Chaffee's quite tight, quite light and small. So yes, they go down much better owning one of them than you do owning an M4, really. Although the M4s are probably in more demand for World War II reunions. Okay, we decided he's not getting very far over this side so far, and of course he was in danger of getting spotted by the enemy up there. Now, you notice how many enemy tanks are actually been spotted on the reverse slope of that hill. Now, that actually does make it easier for him to get some damage. He could move up to the railway line, and since he's a light tank, he's got the same camo on the move as he has at standstill, so he could go up to the railway line, up to the front end, and he's decided to do that, and he could take pot shots at the enemy on the reverse slopes. And look at the view range on his vehicle. he can actually see the enemy, but they might not be able to see him as well unless they've got some teammates spotting just at this corner. So he's going to have a go and see what he can see. We did lose a KV2. They have got a Jagdpanzer nearby. Oh, we did get spotted. But he's dodged any damage and he's back down. Can go back up there again. The Jagdpanzer just died. Taken out by the SU-8, so he probably got the spotting off that one. He's popping up again to have a quick look. Now there is an enemy tank over there. It's a Poodle. Oh, no, he didn't get any damage off that Poodle at all because the guy died before his shell arrived. But look at this. He's actually found the enemy Super Chaffee. He's locked on and he's now going to chase this guy. Oh, he's receiving fire from the hill. The Strip 74 saw him and when he stood still just for a moment, he was a vulnerable target. He's managed to locate an enemy the other side of the railway line. Back to Jackson and a KV-85. And the Jackson's getting close to the crossing, which could be awkward. Now they're going to try and take out the Super Chaffee. Yes, there goes the Super Chaffee, but it wasn't him. It was the MX-12 ton that got the kill in the end. He pops up, the Jackson's there now. The Jackson does have a 90mm gun. He doesn't really want to take any shells from that guy because the armor on the Chaffee is very, very light indeed. But he is going to try and help his teammate to get some damage on that M24. Well, didn't get that. He's still spotting the other side by proximity spotting. Oh, and the Jackson's come across the line and he's now down in that dip. And it looks like he's looking this way. Oh, he took a round from the VK2801-105, but it went into the tracks. He was lucky. But he's still spotted and the Jackson does get a 90mm round right into his engine bay. He's weaving to try and get out of the way of the shots. And from here he can actually see the VK3001P and he's getting nice shots into that guy from this position. It might be helpful if he moved behind the wreck that's just alongside him because that will protect him from the guys at the back and he can still get shots on them as well. Jackson takes a round, that's nice, gets a bit of revenge. Gets a low roll off that. Oh, he got the kill! The Jackson's gone. Now that VK has also gone. There's a VK3001P up on the hill, the one he was firing at. And there's a Basotto somewhere around. Oh, he gets around into the KV-85 as well. And another one. Can he get the kill? If he gets a high roll, he will. No, he didn't get a high roll, but the guy's still alive. But he won't be for long because he's very low on hit points. But that means now there's only 3 enemies left. The Basotto, the KV-85 and the VK3001P. KV-85's about to die. The VK's coming to the edge of the cliff and there's the Basotto. Only, well no, the VK's actually gone down into the riv dip. Oh, a long range shot on the KV-85. His teammates were having a bit of difficulty trying to get the kill on him, but, well, he had no problem. And there's Basotto. Okay, now he needs to get back into cover because he was spotted. That Basotto could, well, not exactly ruin his game, but certainly make it difficult. What he needs to do is get to a position where he can shoot this guy without this guy being able to respond. And he's using the bushes to his advantage, but he was spotted. The Basotto saw him again. Pretty sure that was the Basotto who spotted him there. And the Basotto is actually now occupied. And, ooh, we just killed our MX-12 ton. We're capping at the moment, which is not necessary because we've got this in hand. Picklefish is going for the kill, I think. Come on, you've got 18 seconds to do it. There he is. Puts one in. Go for the kill shot. Turns around and yes! That's game. And the Arty's a little late. That was an ace tanker game for Picklefish44 in the M24E2 Super Chaffee. He managed to get a fighter badge for getting at least 4 kills. He did get 4 exactly in that game, as well as a spotter badge for spotting at least 1,000 hit points of damage and a fire throw effect for doing more damage to the hit points of his own vehicle. He also picked up a win 8 of 4,876 out of that game, which is Super Unicum standard and quite a bit more. Let's have a look at team score and see where he is in the tables. Well, he didn't get the highest damage in this game because that actually went to one of the Italian tank destroyers here. 1,653 hit points went to them. The second highest damage was another Italian tank destroyer. I think these are the Basottos actually. He got 1,487 hit points. And the third one was another Italian tank destroyer. Yes, there's a lot of them about at the moment. And he managed to pick up 1,335. And we can see that Picklefish, he managed to get third highest on his team with 1,308, but he was actually beaten by 2 members of the enemy team, which makes him in 5th place on damage. When it came to kills, he actually topped the table with 4 kills in that one. 3 kills went to the T-3485M, and he picked up a Pascucci's medal because he killed 2 enemy SPGs, and also one of the Italian tank destroyers also managed to get 3 kills. And when it came to base XP, yep, Picklefish got that one as well, all down to the spotting, I think. 1,117 went to him, so he was the only player to get over 1,000 base. And 869 went to the T-3485M, and 791 went to the MX-12 ton. He fired 30 rounds of 76mm ammunition, 15 direct hits on the enemy, 14 penetrations, 1,308 hit points of damage, of which 883 were at more than 300 meters. He also received 3 hits from the enemy, and because the armor is fairly weak, 2 of them were penetrations, 1 non-penetration. And he spotted 1 enemy vehicle, damaged 7 of the enemy, killed 4, and did 1,782 hit points of damage assistance, or spotting assistance, that's this one. 36,054 credits on a premium count for the battle, but after repair, ammunition, resupply, and consumables, and yes, he did use premium ammo, I'm afraid he actually ended up with a loss of 34,206 credits for the game, 1,678 XP, 503 for this being a premium vehicle, 837 from personal reserve bonus, and took away 3,016 experience points altogether. So another ace tanker for Picklefish44. He's got 3 marks of excellence on the barrel. So he keeps racking up the damage on this one. And I think he's got the hang of it. It is basically the same as the standard ordinary Chaffee, except for the fact that it earns extra credits and extra XP because it's a premium. And of course it's at tier 6 instead of the tier 5 that the standard Chaffee will be in. Anyway, let's have a quick look at the armor profile for this vehicle. Yes, look at that. It looks all orange, but the thing is that's very thin armor. 25.4 on the upper plate, and it's actually got 25.4 on the lower plate, actually, and it's only coming about 13 millimeters of armor. So not much is going to stop if it hits that. It's just going to go straight through. The same with the turret, and you can see the size of the vehicle. Well, they're 25.4 up at the front end, but at the rear end it goes down to just 19.1 millimeters. So yes, you can see they've reduced the armor on the rear, but what little armor it had anyway, and it's only armor that's supposed to stop bullets and shell fragments. It's not supposed to stop a tank shell, which would just plow straight through that armor altogether. We have a quick look at the live. You can see even a 76mm armor piercing round from another Super Chaffee would just go straight through. So you haven't got much protection other than to ensure that you don't get hit by the enemy. And that's why Picklefish did the right thing. The moment he did get spotted and there was a chance the enemy was going to put a shell into him, he dived over the edge of the cliff, or he ran as fast as he could into cover to ensure that the enemy didn't get a shot on him. And that's perfectly correct. That's what you should do in this tank. If we have a quick look at the modules, oh dear. Yes, Wargaming did not supply the module map for the Super Chaffee, but that's no problem because all we need to actually do, if I come back out of here again, is go to Tank Selector, select 5, not 4. There's the M24 Chaffee, and that module map is intact. That's the M24, and basically it's the same tank. It's just got a few modifications on the tank, which are superficial. They're basically viewport It's got the wings on either side you saw, and it's just minor changes. So if we look at the Super Chaffee or the Chaffee, the Tier 5 version, you can see that the transmission is right in front of the driver and the driver's mate. They're up front. Driver's mate being in charge of the machine gun as well. I think he's technically the radio operator in this one rather than the driver's mate. But anyway, you can see the gunner is on the right-hand side. Directly behind him is the tank commander. He's got that cupola, and the loader is on the other side of the gun, on the other side of the tank. And they've got the radio directly behind in the bustle. So there's no ammo rack in the bustle. If you're aiming for that, you're not going to get it. The ammo rack is actually way down inside the tank, deep inside, and it's masked by the tracks on either side. So very difficult to get the ammo rack from that side, but you can possibly get the ammo rack if you can punch a shell through the lower plate on this tank, because obviously you're more than likely going to get the transmission rather than the ammo rack, but you can at least try to get it through. If the shell goes through the ammo rack, the transmission, it might make contact with the ammo rack anyway. At the rear of the vehicle, we've got the engine, which is actually two engines in one, with sandwiched between two fuel tanks. So that's where all the modules are on the Chaffee, and of course it's basically the same as on the Super Chaffee. Well, I hope you enjoyed that replay. If you did, please give this video a like, do subscribe to our channel, and leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm. And thank you for watching.